On your forehead. You stuck your head in those Oakley. snow all over the place. Thanks, Rich, for sending me all that snow, man. We're cold outside. Got the snow all over the place. Thanks, Rich. Well, thought I'd make you a little video for this morning. And, yeah, man, lots of snow out there. Tell you, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe the weather forecast because it's so late in the year for snow. But I guess it started last night, as you can see. And I just went outside, smoked a cigarette, and checked on the fire. And I got a little 10-pound nugget out there left. That's okay. I'll throw it in over there by where we have a party fire at. It's nice and dry now. But that nugget that I burned, it was 3 of the limbs came out of it. And they cut a nugget, and it was the size of me. And holy smokes, it took 2 days to burn. And yeah, 2 days of a hot fire on that son of a bitch. It took me and Dad both to roll that sucker 6 feet to the fire pile. I knew I should have tried to roll it, but by myself I couldn't do it. And that nugget must have weighed, I don't know, maybe 450 pounds. Because it was big. Bigger than me, round and all. But, you have 2 inches? 24 degrees. Brutal cold. Yeah, 24 degrees there. It's about, I don't know, probably 25 here, 26 outside. Just enough to hold the snow. But, man, I gotta go get my glasses in Reading. And that's 10 miles over that way. And I don't think I'm gonna make it. And I'm not gonna fucking drive that van in the snow. Fuck, hell no. All that's gonna cause is an accident. Because I don't have snow tires. And I've got the tires on there that I bought when I bought it. So no, I ain't gonna drive in the snow. I'd love to try it, but man, I got a hill right here. I couldn't make it up that hill, let alone in the van. But man, it's like that coming up here on top of the mountain where I live, and it winds. So it might go into a neighbor's yard if I try to go down the hill right now. Right now, I don't think it'd be so bad, but I'm not going to risk my life or nobody else's life to go get my reading glasses, you know. So I just have to call those people. I know they hold it for so long and then they give them away. That's what they say they do, and I guess they do. But the thing was last week when I went and took the eye test, they said it was going to be 8 weeks before I got those reading glasses back. And I said, yeah, right, man. Here, I'll give you another $20 to make it happen. I guess that was a good payoff. $20. A Jeep? No, you don't. All you need is a rig with some good radio tires, and that's it. I've always had radio tires. Prefer new snow traction tires. New snow radio tires would work, but it looks like it's going to rain a little bit today, so hopefully this warm rain coming out of the cold sky will warm it up enough to go get my glasses, and we'll see. I won't leave out of here until I see all the snow out there gone out of the road. We don't have plow trucks and shit that come up here and plow our shit, so it just has to just naturally go away. Oh yeah, you see RB climb up a fucking tree. Yeah, that's what I hear. Same with my Dodge Dakota I used to have. And I'd still have it if it wasn't for mom. Mom told me don't bring that truck to California. Man, I should have. I should have. Man, all the advice she's ever gave me was just totally 100% wrong. And I was telling Dad last night all her fuck ups that she did with running the house and stuff. Yeah, I had a little Dodge Dakota, and tell you what, all I had was a bumper, and I put an RV hitch on that thing, and I carried triple axle tires. I had a triple axle trailer, low to the ground, that carried pontoon boats, 30-foot long pontoon, and that trailer was 26 feet long, but they had rollers in the middle of the frame and rails. And that thing carried so much weight. I was going down the road with my tires up in there. It felt like, I had 12,000 pounds on the trailer, and my poor truck was going down the road. And when it was snowing, ice out and shit, man, it was all squirrely. But I tell you what, that truck never failed me. It was a Dodge Dakota quarter ton. I had a flatbed on it, and for my business and shit, and I carried iron and stuff all the time, and I left it parked up on a mountain. They probably parted it out by now, but that was my fault for leaving it behind. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, man, they made a good truck, man. That poor truck. That truck I had only paid $100 for it, and it burned a little bit of oil on the end. Um, it burned a quart of oil driving to California. It was 400 miles south of me here, 450. So it would be 1,100 miles from Washington, where I lived, to Mom's house, and it burned a quart of oil. And the fuel mileage was great. It got about 25 miles a gallon. And it's a little four-wheel drive, and I loved it. And I tell you what, if I ever get another truck ever again, it's gonna be a little Dodge Dakota because I know what they're made of. They're just a tank, and it'll be Dodge Dakota 4x4. And I've been looking for another one, but I'd rather have a little Dodge Dakota 4x4, so I could put a flatbed on it again, or just a box, um, little V6 powerhouse. And tell you what, that little son of a bitch pulled a 26-foot trailer with 12,000 pounds on it, and it carried a half ton or better of steel on the flatbed at the same time. So man, that was the best truck. Yeah. Well, yeah, Ma had her good faults. Ma. I was telling Dad last night. 80% of Mom's thinking was okay. You know, uh, but kind of I don't know what word you use for it, but she let the bills just pile up, and she paid the very minimum because she's an old lady, so they say just pay the minimum. Well, after she died, I got all the bills slammed in my mailbox, and I'm going, oh Jesus, Ma, you left me all the bills. It was terrible. It was over $10,000, and she left me hanging with a month or two of rent that she never paid. And those people, they wanted me to keep the house and make the payments to pay it off, what she owed. And shit, back then I paid the rent, paid $1,000 a month. I mean, we were on HUD, but the thing is, Section 8, we had a 3-bedroom house. $1,000 a month was nothing. And well, if you didn't have HUD or Section 8, that was like $3,200 a month for the house, and which it probably is right now because after my neighbor, I've been my good neighbor that used to buy me all kinds of goodies, and then I pay him back. Um, he said that they put a tent on that house, and it wasn't to get the bugs out or nothing type of tent. It was because they were embarrassed of the way the house looked, and he said, yeah, they worked on it for 3 months. 3 months on the inside, on the outside. Shoot, in my bedroom, I could look from my bed, I could see outside. The window had a big crack above the window frame that fell whenever we had an earthquake. It fell down a little bit, and you could see all the bugs, you could see the trees. Spiders would crawl in and get your ass and all that stuff. Uh, yeah, he says that they had jacked up the house on the kitchen side to level the floor, and that in itself cost about 20 grand. And the house was just falling apart. I mean, it was a railroad house, so first of the century, it was a 120-year-old house. So yeah, it was made in the late 1800s. They call it railroad. It was one of the first houses built there in Paso Robles. Yeah, and I know that they had ghosts in that house. I've seen a couple ghosts in the house. A couple people died in there, and then there was a guy one time. I know I'm blah 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 blah, but I'm telling you the truth. There was a guy one time that came and parked out in front of the house, and I was out doing my thing out front and stuff. And he says, "Yeah, my grandpa and grandma died here in this house. I just want to come by and look at it for memories." And I said, "Well, where did they die?" And they said, "In this room and that room." So that was Mom and Rhonda's room. Uh, uh, so there was actually a couple deaths in the house. And Rhonda would have been one of them, and Mom would have been two. If I would have had it my way, if they could have walked, carried their own, I would have kept them at the house till they died there. But no. Uh, my sister and my mother both didn't want me wiping their asses, and I don't go poop shoot. No, no poop shoot for me. Yeah, it's bad enough I seen all my sister's flesh in my face when I was lifting her up out of the hospital bed and put her on the commode. Ugh, seen enough nastiness to last me a lifetime. Uh, that's why I like skinny girls. Just another reason why I like skinny girls, because they're easier to lift. And I broke my back, re-broke my back lifting my sister. I'd do it again if she was here. I'll tell you, I really miss my sister. The only pictures I've got of her is a couple, and I'll send them to you eventually. They're Rich or whoever wants to see pictures of my mom, my sister. Uh, I do have some, and I have a dedicated page of my sister's stuff, so I can see what she looks like all the time. The here and now type of thing with pictures. And if I Google the address where I came from uh, on maps, it's got my sister walking down the street. So I can see that. Where she was at, she'll never be. Yeah, so I've got that in my memory. Yeah. But man, I really miss my sister. She was something else. I mean, uh, she she cut crooked too, but not like my mother was. You know, I'm talking about good feelings right now about them, because I really miss them. And they would have loved it up here. They had all the opportunities in the world to come and live up here and see the snow without going outside. You could just look out the windows and see the snow. How beautiful is that? What people take for granted is when it snows at their house, it's work. Well, here, it wouldn't be work for Mama Rhonda at all. All they had to do is look out the window, you know. Uh, Mom's husband would have took care of the rest. And Mom would have loved to go out to dinner, with Dad. Dad, man, he is the most awesome man in the whole wide world. He cared so much for me. He says, you look just like your mother. And I said, well, what part is that, Dad? He says, your face. And he says, I could see your mother in your face. And I said, is that good or bad? And he says, that's good, son. You know, first time I've heard son in a long time. And it just makes me want to cry, because he cares so much about me. We talked about it, you know. He says, no matter where you're at in the whole wide world, son, if you're having a hard time, you got a home here. Wow, that's amazing, That is amazing. Uh, to have somebody like say if I was in the Philippines or in New York or Florida or Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Montana, Whitefish, Montana, Spokane, Washington. If I'm having a hard time and I'm going to be homeless, he says, son, just pick up the phone. I'll get you home. And he would. I mean, he would. He's financially secure and he'd send me a plane ticket in a heartbeat, you know, to come home to here. So that man has got it going on. He's got it going on, and he's got a beautiful home here. He lives here as a single man because he's had some rough, uh, even though dad was married, but separated from mom. He had his own life, with his girlfriends and shit. And but the last one burned him so bad that uh, he's been here single for 3 years by himself. Uh, he loves the company. He loves me watching his dog. He trusts me in his $1 million home. He trusts me to be here by myself and not snooping his shit. He trusts me because I'm not a snooper. I may be a lot of things in life, piece of shit, bad guy, whatever, but I'm trying to turn a new leaf and be nice again. You know, and he sees that, you know, used to be the worst of kind of drug addict, you know. I never ripped anybody off for drugs, never came to that point in my life, but yeah, lost my business, lost a lot of family over it, shit like that. I didn't really care about family and shit when I was doing drugs. That's the thing. They forget. They forget they have family. You know, they forget to clean up and they forget a lot of things. I did drugs to forget about my family. Now that was about 30 years doing drugs. Forgot about everybody. I even forgot about my own girlfriend that was in my life at that time. You know, she even told me, and that was a warning call. That was a warning call for me. She says, Bob, I'm going to leave you because you won't quit the drugs for me. And I said, fuck, I ain't quitting my drugs for you or nobody. I'm not ready. So when I went to work, uh, I was renting her a house for her and her children, and I had my own place, you know. So just let y'all know, uh, when you have a girlfriend, make sure she's got her own house so that she can have somewhere to go to. Uh, Either you're paying for it or she pays. If she's got a job, she pays for it. If she don't have a job, you pay for it while you're with her, and that's how I did it. I paid while I was with her. Here's my booty call, you know. And then I'd say 98% of the time I didn't need a booty call because I worked so damn much. You know what I mean? I stopped by the house, had some coffee with her at 5 o'clock in the morning before I went to work. And she'd always have a hot cup of coffee ready for me. We'd go out on the back porch and giggle and talk and have coffee together. Hey, that in itself was worth the rent. And at that time, the rent was like, I don't know, $800 a month. That was pretty cheap. And so one day I went to work and she knew my schedule. Don't let the lady know your schedule. Rule number one. Well, I was honest, dumb, and all that. And I admit it. I was a dummy. And I let her know my schedule. Yeah. I let her know my schedule. So, and I had to pull a 16-hour day that day and throughout the week. So I didn't have time to stop by, have coffee or nothing. I was on a big job. And my job was an hour away driving time. So, working for myself. And so, yeah, I went to work, went the back way. She knew that I had a job I had to do for 3 solid days. So 72 hours. But I went the back way, went home, went to sleep. And then a place called Bigelow Gulch is behind the property where I was watching, where I lived. And that went to Idaho. And then the next day, well, I go home, smoke a bowl, go to sleep, and then for 4 hours, and then go back to work. And 4 hours was just long enough to go to sleep. I crash hard, go to sleep, wake up, I could smoke a bowl, go to work, bring a bowl with me. And so whenever I started to go into insomnia, go back to sleep, I smoke a bowl, wake up, I was good for another 8 hours. You know. So then, yeah. Uh, so then, about 2 days went by, and I was curious why she never called me or none of that shit. Normally, she called me once a day if I didn't come by. She called once a day. She never called, so after work that day, I went over there uh, around 6 o'clock. It's still light out. It's summertime and all that. And my van wasn't. I had another van that I gave her to get around, and that was gone. And the curtains were pulled open, and that was the first. I've never seen those curtains ever pulled open. She was very private, and from outside you could see the desk with the uh, laptop. Normally, well, I didn't see no laptop or desk out of that big picture window, so I knew there was something going on. I went over to the neighbor's house. First, I knocked on the door, nothing. Uh, I didn't have a key to the house. I didn't want a key to the house. That was her house. So I went to the neighbor's house, and he says, "Yeah, there was two, three bedroom U-Hauls that pulled up, and they were four ladies and two guys, just grabbing everything as quick as they could, and and they boogied on out of there." And I said, "Wow." Uh, I said, "Well, did you get a key or something?" And he said, "Yeah, we got the key." So they handed it to me, the neighbor did. And I went in the house, and everything was gone. Everything. My tools, my extra tools, my pants, all my clothes, all my extra stuff I always left there because I go over there, take a shower, uh, uh, change, that stuff. All my tools, all my clothes, all my extra everything. Because I had a ranch house there. The top floor looked like the bottom. Two bedroom, two bath on the bottom. Two bedroom, two bath upstairs. Uh, looked the same. You know. Yeah, it was cleaned out, and all she left was garbage. I mean, there was like maybe 10 bags of garbage. I had to clean up all that garbage, and had the shampoo. I hired some people to clean the walls and shampoo the carpet and all that stuff. Cost me about $500, pretty cheap then. And then I called the homeowner and I said, "Hey, your house is cleaned up. They all moved out. Thank you very much. Do I owe you anything else?" And they said no. So they re rented the house. We all know the earth isn't flat. He's a nutcase. Yeah, Fazio's a nutcase. How in the hell can the earth be flat when I gotta go down a hill? You know, I gotta go down a hill. And the sunrise is way over there. And the sunrise is there. Sundown, sunrise. All that shit rotates like this in a circle. Remember that, okay? The world is not flat. If the world was flat, we'd see the sunrise here and the sun down there, right? Right. In the daytime, we see the moon right there when it's light out. It's making its turn. big circle. That's what the sun does. It goes around the earth. Get it? You know? Get it? You know? This world ain't flat. If it was flat, then I could see Rich's house right over there. You know? But yeah, I'm not here to preach at y'all. You know, I'm just telling you a story. 100% the story. You know, a little bit of my life. You know, can I tell you a little bit of my life that you probably never heard before? Maybe you heard of it. You know, maybe not. But yep, Bob on drugs. Uh, I've been over 10 years clean, and I feel good. You could tell that Bob's not on drugs. Look at Fat Bob. Look. I'm the one that caused my own destruction. Back then, I'll show you a picture of Bob on drugs one of these days when I can find it, Rich. I'll share it with you. I got a good picture of me hugging a black girl. She saved my drugged up ass. And I was homeless in Seattle that time. And I'll show you what Skinny Bob looked like then. And if I could show you some early day pictures of myself, I think I got one or two of them when I was 7 and when I was 22. I don't have many pictures. Mom, her house burned down and it burned up all of her kid pictures and her pictures, all those pictures. So, yeah. Um, and maybe one day I'll tell you about my Alaska story. Bob going to Alaska making easy money. Oh yeah, black girl. Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe I did kill it. Skinny motherfucker. I was about 200 pounds then, Rich. And now, and I caused my own destruction. When I was doing drugs, I did not know that they would cause me to have diabetes, gout, and all that bad shit that's going on with me. Um, See, I broke my back in 1997, May 16th of 1997. Never forget that day because that was my ex old lady's birthday. And never forget that neither. The one that fucked me in Washington. Fucked me up in Washington. And the only one that really cares about me uh, is her. Regardless of how bad a woman treats you all your life when you were young, then you separated. It's been about 20 years since I've seen that wingnut. She actually still cares about me. So I know one day if Esther doesn't call me and she's had it with me and I can't get my fat ass up and taking care of business with my medical shit, I'm stuck here with my medical shit right here until uh, I could get this diabetes under control. Uh, I take 3 pills and an insulin shot every day, and I take 12 pills a day that I could not afford in the Philippines. Here, it cost me almost nothing, but there in the Philippines, they charge you per tablet, and I take probably 20 pills a day times 100 pesos each. And that's the cheap ones. And I take some pills that are $25 each here in America. So that would be a couple thousand pesos a day and all that. Uh-oh. Pizza. Oh yeah, pizza. I'll be right back. I'll be back.